let's check out yet another Ohio Liquor Maker's Mark pick in the chocolate covered almonds, which I was super excited to try when I realized how much I like the chocolate notes on the brownie sundae. So, this is an interesting blend that has, all it's missing is I wish it had cuvee instead of pure, but I wonder if that's where a lot of this chocolatiness is coming from.
We're about to find out.
Sorry.
Sorry, everybody. Max is texting one of his many bitches.
Yeah, my 40-something-year-old aunt is my bitch. There you go.
That's not very nice.
Your words, not mine.
I didn't call your aunt a bitch.
You said one of my many bitches.
I didn't specify that your aunt was a bitch. I just said one of many.
One of many? What?
I didn't call your aunt one.
Understandable. All right, let's
Again, one of many.
one of many humanoids. All right, so this is 3 pure, 2 Mondial, which I think is actually the way to pronounce it.
Okay, Mondial.
French, makes sense.
Yes,
and
it does.
5 spice. So I'm curious.
Get a big old whiff. Chocolate and all. Pretty fucking spot on.
It's like milk chocolate too.
A little bit of amaretto.
The amaretto stands out more to me, but that's probably.
I think it's the way that the chocolate and the Maker's Mark cherry are blending together. It comes out as amaretto.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also where the almond comes in, because this is also a savory, a little bit doughy. Yeah, the nose on this is just fantastic. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So this is a lighter chocolate. The brownie sundae was a more rich, darker chocolate.
Yes.
Because again, you're comparing a brownie to practically a Hershey bar.
Yes.
But well, and especially on the finish, it is all chocolate to me.
Yep. All milk chocolate though. Like the brownie sundae had some.
It
like,
literally
crunchy,
tastes
dark
like I
chocolate.
let a candy bar melt in my mouth.
Yes. Like that's.
I don't get so much nuttiness like I expected. The almond was more in the nose. There's still some there.
Dude, I get a ton of almond in this.
Really?
Almond isn't a super strong flavor to begin with, and relative to chocolate, it's kind of weak. But like, I'm getting that like meaty almond taste to it.
I guess I'm getting it a little bit. It doesn't stand. I guess the chocolate's overpowering it a lot more for me.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
Because this was like, when I say this is chocolatey, now it's all lighter chocolate. But it is like, it tastes like milk chocolate on milk chocolate on milk chocolate. To me.
That's fair.
That's what I'm like. That's just what's standing out to me. I'm getting that almond, but I get so much chocolate.
That being said, this is a very sweet and decadent Maker's
Yes.
Mark pick. I like it. I'm very happy that I've been able to get a bottle of it.
Mm-hmm.
I do think I like brownie sundae better.
I think I do too. But this sort of like, I don't think I've had any other makers that have had a lot of milk chocolate.
No. 'cause
Usually
most-
when it's chocolatey, it's really dark and decadent, like
It's-
the Fine
yeah.
Wine and Good Spirits pick, or like the
Yes.
brownie sundae.
Yes.
The Fine Wine and Good Spirits being more of a dark chocolate, and
Yeah.
the brownie sundae being more of a brown.
Yeah, this is like creamy, sweet, milky chocolate. Like, this is like a good, like...
See, I like the brownie sundae more, but fuck, this is up there for me.
Rightfully so. This goes down so easy, too.
That's the other thing. It doesn't. It has a warmth. It does not have much heat.
It doesn't have the bite that a lot of makers do.
And
like,
the warmth doesn't last very long, but the flavor does.
Yes.
And sometimes that's what you want out of a whiskey. You don't want that heat to kick your ass. You just want the flavor to stick around. And that's where this lies for me. This is...
And then again, this adds to our mantra of Maker's Mark does not make bad picks.
Yeah. You could go through every video of any of these you've made, and none of our descriptions are the same. A lot of them aren't even remotely close.
But never is anything
But
negative.
never is anything negative, and they have something in common. Every single time. They have something that makes it distinctly Maker's Mark.
And I think it might be a little bit of that bitterness, like the mouthfeel.
A little bit of the cherry, like the cherries, even if it's only there a tiny bit, it's there in some capacity in practically every single one of these.
Maker's Mark is just brighter
A
than a lot of
bit
other
of an oak
whiskeys.
spices and everything, although when you get something like this decadent, it can get like
A little bit hidden.
yeah, it's very hidden in this. You don't get a ton of it. But if I tried this, I could tell you it was Maker's Mark without a second guess.
I think the best way to describe it is that Maker's Mark is just brighter than a lot of whiskeys.
Yes.
It's bright. I don't know how to like explain the word brightness, but like something about it pops relative to other whiskeys.
I think it comes from the fact that you get sweet, you can get decadent, you get borderline spicy with oak spice, cherry spice. We had one, what was it, the community one that had a bit of a green
Yes.
kind of note to it?
It had an herbal note to it.
Like, you can get all of these things. And they all, I think what makes it Maker's Mark is that it all melts together, and you can tell when you get all of these different things coming together that it can't be anything other than Maker's Mark. And that's why I like it, because you get so much variety out of them doing the exact same thing different ways all the time. And it's never the same, and I've never been disappointed.
Their whiskey is not different. They have not changed mash bill. They have not changed aging.
The
It's
only
just-
extent of aging changes is negligible for the private selects. The only exception is the community,
Yeah.
because of the fact that they let things marry longer, so it ages longer. But even that, it's not. We're not talking
It's maybe
drastic.
like 5 months longer.
Right.
Like
And-
most of these barrels are probably between 5 and 7 years.
Yes.
Like Maker's Mark does not go beyond that. As far as we know, they may have that in store and they're doing an aged one.
They
but
may
I
also
highly
have
doubt
ones that they try to see if it becomes something. And then when it doesn't, like you might have a 9-year in here that just they thought had promised to become something a little different, or they were waiting for it to mature to a point where they wanted to add it to something.
Yeah. And if it doesn't work out and it's not great, well, we'll just dump it in with the standard Maker's Mark because it all tastes the same anyways.
Yeah.
One barrel ain't gonna make it change that much.
No, well, it won't make any change because it's to taste. They'll add it in, but then they'll add a little bit of something else to make it to taste. That's just what they do.
I'm starting to think that maybe their base batches of whiskey are just so big that it doesn't even matter. It all just blends together. That's what I'm starting to
I
think.
think that's what it is.
I think that the batches are just so big that you add so much.
I think that's the case with the 46 too, because they just probably, I mean, all they have to do is age it a little longer with the 46 staying in there, and they blend so much of it together that it doesn't taste any different ever.
And I mean, because
Same probably goes. That's why the cask strength is so consistent, because they just blend a ton of it together and they figure out what proof that is and they go with the proof, and that they don't go with any other.
And I think the reason they can justify a higher price point is because it is aged a little bit longer. I'm pretty sure every single Maker's Mark is at least 6 years old.
You are paying for an experiment with this too.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
the reason is like part of the premium is getting different picks that do very different things, and the fact that there's so many combinations that they then go and make.
Right.
I think that's another part of it is that they have to prepare. Like, obviously they don't just say, oh, someone wants 5 of these, quick, throw 5 staves in there, let that age. They have it all aged. They have to blend it and they have to let it marry.
Right.
So you're paying for that extra time. You're paying for them blending it. You're paying for them doing the proportions. You're paying for the time it took them to do all the extra aging to get the staves ready to marry them together.
Right.
Like, there's so much extra stuff that goes into this that the extra price point being between 60 and 75 bucks typically makes sense. And I don't think I've seen a Maker's Mark and I think that's not worth the price. Aside from, I think maybe the 46 cask could be a little cheap. But I'm talking $5-10 bucks. I'm not talking anything crazy.
And I mean, even at that point, like, I don't think either of us have been disappointed by the 46 cask.
Not at all. It wasn't our favorite by any means, but wasn't disappointed at all either.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna keep picking up bottles of it and not be disappointed by it.
Oh, yeah.
I won't pick it up as frequently, like, because
I also just won't drink it as frequently, and that's my reasoning.
It's not, and it's also not a staple.
The
for my
only reason
shelf.
I drank probably 200 ml of it in 2 nights was to try to kill off a bottle because I just had 2 opens of it, and I didn't need that second open.
And the other thing about the 46 cask is that while it's a great whiskey, it's also not a shelf staple because they have the limited edition yearly releases, and they have the private selects. So like
They have regular cask strength.
so like
They have 46, and the
Yeah.
46 cask strength and the 46 don't taste as similar as you'd expect them to.
No.
There's a lot of nuances that are incredibly different. Whereas the cask for regular makers sort of emphasizes the best parts of regular makers.
Right.
The 46 cask behaves a little differently, where I think it picks different things completely.
Right.
And pulls on those. I think watering it down shifts the flavor profile instead of removes parts of it.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
But this is delicious.
This is solid. No complaints whatsoever. The only complaint being, well, we've had better picks.
Yeah,
And that's not even a complaint.
I still like. This might crack. This is close to cracking the top 5 for me. With the other ones that would be in the top 5 being the Fine Wine and Spirits from this past year, the Brownie Sundae, the Rob Samuels for me personally,
I agree with that.
the Atlantic Liquors 4, and I'm torn as to whether I put this at 5 or if I put the other Fine Wine and Spirits one at 5. For me, I know you still put that as 1. I think.
I think I agree with you, but instead of Atlantic Liquors, maybe this doesn't crack my top 10. I'd have to
10
try
or 5.
Or 5.
I was gonna say because this 100% cracks my top 10. I don't think there's any debate.
Yeah, it cracks top 10.
I love the
top
chocolate
5.
notes. And I love that we've tried enough of these that we have a fucking top 20 at this point.
I'd have to taste this one side by side with Atlantic Liquors. Was it number 3 or number 4 that I really like? It was number 4. I'd have to try this side by side.
And
with
we need
4.
to at one point just a day where we're cool with drinking a fuck ton, do an entire new private select lineup.
We'll do that.
We have
soon.
so many to compare
'Cause
now that I
wanna
would
do it
love
again.
to compare.
I want to do that again because that was so much fun.
We've doubled how much we've had at least.
Oh, for sure. And it's
I
so
keep-
much fun.
And I keep picking up more. Like, I'm accumulating most of these. Any of them that you guys have, I also have.
Pretty much, yeah. The only one that you don't have is my Fine Wine and Good Spirits.
Yeah,
That's just
but
because
I have
love it so
the
much.
Rob Samuels and I have my own blend.
Yes.
So like that balances out anyway. But back to this so we can finish this up. Yeah, so the Maker's Mark Private Select is something I never look at proof because I know about where it's going to be. All I look at is what's the stave profile. Is it something that interests me, whether it's wacky, whether it's like this where I saw the stave profile and that with the name, I'm like, I need to try this now.
Right.
That combination, I'm like, if I'd have seen this, but it had 3 cuvee instead of 3 pure, I would have been even quicker to snag it.
Oh, for sure. For fucking sure.
But I saw this and I'm like, you know what? The 5 spice and the 2 Mondial, I'm like, I need that to begin with.
Yes.
Like, I don't care what the 3 other ones were. If it was the 46, we'd probably just get more cherry out of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
We might get a little less chocolatiness, though. It'd probably have a different name at that point.
Yeah.
I think the chocolatiness comes from the spice and the pure working together, it seems. Because the Mondial seems to bring darker notes.
Right.
And I can tell it's not as evident in this because it's definitely being overpowered by 5 spice.
This is why I do want to try Maker's Mark single barrels to see the variation between like plain Maker's Mark single barrels.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we'll ever get that, but like
Yeah,
it'll
I
be
wish
nice
they would
to
release
see.
their staves on their own sometime, like as a limited release.
Yeah, even the staves by themselves would be cool. But like,
because then you can taste it and you can see how it combines and like what each individual flavor could be coming from or what interaction could be causing it.
you see, this is what I think this is what I think I'm gonna do. What I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna save up enough money that whenever I get married, one of my wedding gifts is going to be a Maker's Mark barrel and just give out bottles of Maker's Mark. You can come with me for the tasting.
You have me.
Part of the tasting is literally tasting whiskeys of that particular stave. Like, they literally give you individual tastings of each stave. That's what I've read about each time somebody goes in for a pick, is that they taste each stave, and they get to mix them together a little bit as much as they want. So, as long as I'm able to do that 10 years down the road, you'll be coming along with me to make those picks.
I just, in general, need to tag along on a pick. In fact, I'm tempted to reach out to Aaron and be like, hey, one of these times you guys do a pick. I work for Fine Wine and Spirits. I clearly have the same taste as you because I've liked every pick you guys have done. Bring me along,
Do it.
Like Scott Reed and all them, and I've gotten along really well with Aaron recently.
Yeah.
Because we've chatted a couple times about things, as especially recently about he who shall not be named in this video.